right. We are live.
Woo!
We are live here at the Homestead Athletic Geek HQ. Sick as fucking dogs.
Mm-hmm.
This is like all my energy just to get this pep in my step. But welcome to a live edition of the live now. You could be watching this later. I don't know. You can do whatever you want. I don't know. I've taken medication. I'm tired. It's just gonna be a fun episode, y'all. Welcome to this week's edition of the Just Two Marks Wrestling Recap Show. I am the Athletic Geek, joined once again
Hello.
by Jedi Jason Kruger. Two sick individuals. And no, not because we're willing to do disgusting things. You know, we're not sick like, you know, not like we be getting
like
we're not getting like
Bobby Lashley. No.
Yeah, we're not getting you sick fuck chants from the audience. No, we're physically ill, but we're bringing this to you this week. So this is going to be a real interesting episode. If you have never seen this show before, we are Just Two Marks. This is Jedi and myself have been knowing each other for over 10 years. Whatever, I don't feel like doing the math right now.
Yeah, over 15, I think.
Yeah, we're close to it. We love professional wrestling. Love talking about professional wrestling. We love sharing our love of professional wrestling with all of you and encourage discussion of all kinds about the greatest art form in the world, professional wrestling. However, we are not insiders. We're just fans, just like all of you. We're not in the business. We're not wrestlers. We're not reporters. We've never wrote for anybody, done nothing. We are just fans. Our opinions are just that. They're just like all of yours. At the end of the day, we're nothing more than just two marks. And when I first started the show, and I've had like a revolving door of co-hosts, so congratulations on being the most consistent.
Woo!
Yes.
Get a plaque or something?
Yeah, something like in
Thumbs up.
Well, I offered you a Sprite and you said no, so I'm going to drink it because my stomach's upset.
I'm on a strict water diet right now. I'm trying to get better.
I was going with this. Yeah.
Done left you hanging there.
Yeah, done. Like,
we're going to talk about some wrestling.
We're going to talk about some wrestling. But throughout the revolving... Well, actually, I'm back there. This is what medication will do to you when you're not feeling well. We used to do this show live. Myself and Nick. And even like a few of our early ones, we did it live.
Yeah, we did.
Back when I was really starting to get some extra content off the ground, I was doing... it may come back. It's just a matter of scheduling with me and my buddy Isaac. We were doing the Super Saturday Nostalgia Show where we did the commentary over the old superhero cartoons, because this channel is all about everything geek culture, not just wrestling.
We be nerds here, yo.
Yeah, and we had like no time to ever like record, so when we'd finally get like an evening together, we're like, let's do 5 or 6 of these, upload them, we'll make them private, and we'll release them. But since like it was really just like a stagnant image and talking, whenever it went to processing by YouTube, it said, hey, this is spam on one of the episodes. So I filed the appeal. I won the appeal, but when you get flagged for anything, you lose certain privileges, and one of them was the ability to go live. So that's what started the edited and taped editions of the show. So if it wasn't for that, I'd probably never done the taped editions. So we're going to try live here again. What's funny is even though I won my appeal, it still didn't give me the right to go live again for like 3 more months. I compared it to like being arrested, being found not guilty, but still being told, hey, you still got to pay this fine. And we got Raybo. Hello, how's it going, bud?
Hello.
Hello, thank you for joining us here on the show. Well, we actually have one person watching, which is what one more than I thought I was going to have today. So, shout out to Raybo for that. Let's get started talking about Raw.
Yeah.
In weeks past, if you've been watching the show, you've heard me say that watching Raw was like doing homework.
Right.
This was a good episode this week. I really enjoyed Raw. Lots and lots of good stuff going on Raw this week. I thought it was a really solid show. Still not a huge fan of the Iconics versus Naomi and Asuka made me want to stop watching wrestling. What do you think? Well, we'll take a short detail into that after I take a swig of stomach soothing Sprite.
I mean, quality-wise, it wasn't the worst I ever saw.
No, it wasn't bad.
Asuka didn't get pinned, so hold on to that.
Yeah. I guess I miss dominant Asuka. I wouldn't go as far as Eric here, but I can see why that would maybe rub some folks the wrong way, especially. But I guess they wanted to throw a bone to the Australians there.
Shoot, they never win. I mean, they
needed something.
I guess, but yeah, I mean, I assume most of it's because of Asuka, because Naomi, she can take a loss here and there. It don't really matter at this point.
I'm zipping up because I'm cold in my...
He is cold.
Yeah.
Gish didn't... Yeah.
And it's usually... What's funny is... I'm probably going to get too hot now, but it's funny because, like, in months past, we would, like, be, like, dying of heat in this room, and then now it's, like... Now
you're freezing.
Yeah, I'm freezing. But back to Raw. Really, really good... But the thing that impressed me the most was... they turned Lashley into a villain and Kevin Owens into a hero. Very, very, like, one of the best switches I've ever seen of that. That's something else, so we try not to use the insider terms because we're not in the business at all.
I think my brain thought you said that. Anyway.
I'm very sick.
Yeah. So, it was pretty seamless, too. I mean... Kevin Owens, whilst we haven't really seen him play a good guy at all in WWE.
One time.
I know. But,
his debut on NXT, and that's it, really.
But he still got it.
I
like Leo Rush as a villainous
the villainous hype man.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, I think it was a couple weeks ago. I don't know if this was like in our pre-show discussions, you don't really see a lot of hero managers out there. Usually the manager distinguishes that you're the villain. Mm-hmm. And then we saw Leo Rush do that really, really cool jumpy stuff that Leo Rush does. And Bobby Lashley saved Raw for me this week. Let's save WrestleMania for me. Nothing really saved WrestleMania for me. It wasn't a complete failure. I'm not going to say it was a bad show, but it should have been the greatest thing of all time. So that's nothing really saved WrestleMania for me. It just wasn't as good as it should have been.
The Ronda Rousey match was
that was surprising.
Business being.
But I wouldn't say that it saved Raw. I'd say it was the highlight of Raw for me.
WrestleMania.
Oh, you said you're talking about Bobby Lashley too, since
Lashley saving Raw.
Yeah.
Oh. I mean,
it's what stood out the most for me when I was watching Raw this week was because that's means the first thing we're talking about. The first thing I'm going to do is just how for as much as I rag on Raw, as much as I rag on WWE, and I feel like I'm completely justified that. I don't like the main event scene. I don't like being force-fed Roman Reigns. No, go watch past episodes and you'll get your fill of that. But excuse me. This really stuff holy shit, this was so good. And, and I didn't expect to see that. I've been so disappointed by Lashley's run so far. Not of his own.
No.
But just so disappointed in Bobby Lashley. And then just with the way this whole thing played out, I'm like, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
honestly, I mean, give it time to see where it goes. I would be. I know it's not gonna happen, but I would completely be okay with Bobby Lashley winning the Royal Rumble and going after somebody if this villainous character of his keeps progressing the way it does. So, yeah, I thought that was done brilliantly. And then, and Kevin Owens has kind of been getting some heroic reactions from the fans since he's kind of essentially getting bullied by Braun Strowman.
Yeah. I mean, how can you not, right? So... yeah, it's going to be a definite good thing because Lashley was just kind of there and existing, and
now he's got something.
Yeah.
Now the question is, and this is where my sheepishness for the WWE comes in, is they've done something well. Are they going to follow up on it and allow it to go to its potential?
Nakamura U.S. title.
Or are they going to just go like, oh, well, let's have Roman Reigns neuter him, or let's have somebody just completely make him look like shit and fall.
Or let's forget to put him on TV half the
Or let's
week.
forget to talk about...
Nakamura, U.S. title. Sorry. Not bitter.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, or they just gonna essentially fuck it up again and be like, oh, well, the big dog's gonna beat the shit out of you, son, and...
They better not have him go anywhere near Reigns right now. They just did that not long ago. It's too soon.
And he won. So
yeah,
that
he won
means
first.
So that means we gotta have Roman look like really strong and beat him. No, I'm not bitter towards Roman Reigns.
He won against Reigns and then lost the week later when it counted for the number one contender thing.
Robbing us of a Lesnar, and I'm not a Lesnar fan, but robbing us of a Lesnar-Lashley dream match that I've been thinking about since probably about the time me and you became friends and Bobby Lashley debuted. But
I doubt it.
Will
to respond to the last question,
WWE turn down Sony after the new reports emerge evidence for murder? I think that. I don't think they're going to turn it down.
No.
I don't know what that contract entails with Saudi Arabia.
I think it's too close at this point. I doubt they can.
I doubt they can. Now, I could see a lot of talent going, hey, quote, Kartminski, guys, I'm going home. But, yeah, I don't think they have a choice in the matter at this point.
Yeah. I mean, you don't, depending on that contract, they don't want a lawsuit.
They don't want a lawsuit.
I don't think they could win it.
Yeah, I don't know what, and I don't know, like...
And they're going to make more money than anywhere stateside.
I listened to another podcast today, so if you listen to the entire YouTube scene and all the podcast scene, you think I'm stealing, I'll just say yes, I kind of am. But there were folks talking earlier that the only way they'd probably do it is if sponsors pull out.
Yeah.
And if they can use the fact that it's hurting their business as a way to get out of the contract, then they won't do it because... These other folks also brought up the whole Moolah situation where it was going to be the Moolah Memorial Battle Royal until sponsors were going, hey, fuck you guys.
Yep.
So...
I'm sure...
The only way they won't take this money is if it's going to cost them more money down the road. So we're going to have WWE Crown Jewel whether we think politically or socially or just morally it's the right thing to do or not. Yeah.
Unless something else ridiculous happens.
Like if there's like a bombing that day, it's not happening. But it
the plan continues.
I would be terrified if I were a wrestler right now having to go into that. I would, I would not want to be part of that. And I'm scared for him.
I don't know if I would be or not because with what happened, it was. I mean, they already had a grudge. No. Yeah, I would imagine so.
You guys watch it tonight? No, we're not watching ROH tonight, unfortunately. I kind of I don't keep up with ROH as much as I'd like to. I keep forgetting it's on my Fight TV app, and then I'll catch an episode here and there. I haven't bought pay-per-view. Would love to watch Impact, but I'm a streaming-only guy. So if they ever if they put their show like on Fight, like the Impact Weekly show on Fight, I'd be happy to watch it. I am intrigued. I'd watch the build up to
Bound for Glory is this.
To Bound for Glory, and
that's why they're asking.
Well, and the interviews for between Johnny Impact and Austin Aries have been really, really good. I would like to see that match. So
I'm broke, so pay-per-views is a no for me.
Yeah, it's
I can afford the $10 a month for WWE.
I have 3 wrestling streaming services. I have WWE Network, New Japan World, and then I have the high spots. Just to kind of, there's just so much content there. It's hard not to take that for.
Yeah, I struggle these days just to keep up with WWE and a little bit on NXT.
Yeah,
it's not like the old days before the kids.
Yeah, it's not like the old days before a real job.
Yeah,
for me too. I hope so too.
I'm down.
I'm hoping for that. I'm hoping for the Elite to still be there for MSG, but they're either doing a good job trolling or they're on their way out. So I'm hoping the Elite's there. I made the joke. I said when I finally committed to buying tickets to Madison, ROH/New Japan Madison Square Garden, I said, I'm going to buy those, and fucking the entire Elite's going to be over at TakeOver. You're going to be having the Bucks and Kenny versus Undisputed Era having the greatest 6-man tag match ever, and I'm going to be, with no disrespect to the talent there, it'll work right now, be more like an assassin that's cerebral.
Right. That's all I could think of. Man, they've done a good job of drilling that in our heads.
Yes. But back to Raw, we kind of have
cerebral promoter.
Yes.
Cerebral promoter. That's what he is now.
Bella Twins turned on Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking they were going to go the whole lame like they did with Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey. Hey, buddy, let's have a fight.
Let's have a fight to prove who's the
No, this will be better. Although this is kind of interesting. If we're going to have Brie also being a villain while her husband is heroically running around on SmackDown. That's interesting.
Not really a huge... not really the... I'm not going to lie, I'm like... In the ring, I'm not really a huge Bellas. I mean, they're both from what I've seen in the reality show, they both seem like really, really good people. You know, especially Brie. You know, but in the ring, they just never really did much for me personally, and I'm not a few like Bella Twins. I mean, God bless you. And as much as I appreciate Ronda Rousey and like what she does for wrestling, and I appreciate her passion, you know, as we've said several times here, to me, her wrestling skills not prime time yet. Has it gotten better since before? Yes, but it's just not prime time yet. Yeah, they're the X-Force dad jeans now. Well, we'll segue into that because we're talking Degeneration-x. We've got what we've already speculated upon has become official. That was a dueling cough. That's awesome.
Right. That's right.
We're in sync. We promise you, we're not feeling as bad. This is a much, much, much better show.
Yeah.
But what we already knew.
Versus Brothers Destruction.
Crown Jewel
coming out of retirement for Damone. Awkwardly enough.
I mean, whatever. That's been beaten to death.
Yeah, I mean.
Here's a new discussion with this. Do you think it's going to be a one-off, or do you think that Shawn is going to... Maybe not... he's not going to wrestle like he did, you know, like on Raw.
Oh, no.
But do you think maybe Royal Rumble, WrestleMania? I mean...
Maybe. Can they keep the plate spinning on it that long?
I mean, just in general.
I feel like everybody's talking about Survivor Series. Every now and again I hear things on other YouTube channels where they're like, oh, maybe this belt will be defended here. I'm like, you guys not know that the format now is Raw versus SmackDown every year, champion.
The
versus
one
champion.
night a year where Raw and SmackDown superstars go head to head.
Yep. But I mean, so that's just a non-factor thing they got to get through in November, basically, and then who knows about December. But you got to get through the rest of this year. You got to get through like 2 more months. 2 more months.
But it is something I'm just thinking about. Like, is he really gonna just do one more match in Saudi Arabia, or is he gonna go, hey, I've come out of retirement. I may not wrestle very long, but do you want your last match to be at a WrestleMania? Like, maybe I could do one more WrestleMania. I mean, that's what I'd like to think. It's not just going to be for the money. Maybe we could get something.
Right.
You know,
What?
little AJ Styles. That's probably the way they would go. I mean...
I assume
the man who still holds out for dream matches going Shawn Michaels versus Bryan,
I feel
Shawn Michaels versus and AJ Styles.
Like I feel like if they're putting a nail in the coffin, with the feud with Undertaker and Michaels, then I kind of feel like Michaels is just gonna kind of be gone again at that point because, like, I don't know, I can't. At this point, at least, I can't mentally gymnastic into him doing anything else.
I guess I kind of feel like it's... I don't know if you've ever watched Friends, or if anybody watching has ever watched Friends. You know, there was, when Phoebe was a vegetarian, but she was pregnant and she was craving meat and she wanted to eat, like, a cold-cut sandwich at a party. And Joey says, like, no, if you're going to do something wrong, do it right. And he pulls a steak out of the freezer and they go out to grill it. I kind of feel like with Shawn Michaels, like one of those, like, if you're going to desecrate this, do it right. And at least go to WrestleMania and give us something.
That's fair.
You know? Now, on the flip side of that, Shawn Michaels, in my opinion, is the greatest in-ring wrestler of all time. And he can do whatever the fuck he wants. If he wants to just take a payday with the Saudis and then go back to hunting and fishing and I'm done with this, who the fuck are we to say anything else? But it's, I don't know. On one hand, I'm happy because he is my favorite wrestler. It's like, well, you get through this shit with DX, you get through this shit with The Undertaker. Maybe you get the things you've been dreaming about for 10, 15 years now. On the other hand, it's like, but everything was so perfect with your retirement. Eric mentioned new LIJ member. Yeah, we'll get to that towards the end. We kind of have a format. Fuck the format. Shingo, leaves Dragon Gate, joins New Japan, and is joined Los Ingobernables de Japón, and will be tag teaming with Bushi in the Junior Tag League. So looking forward to that, and be giving my thoughts on the Junior Tag League whenever it begins. And then also, well, on the subject of New Japan is, if you have not watched, yesterday they finally translated it into English. It occurred on the 9th. They had the press conference making the match official for the main event of Wrestle Kingdom 13.
Yeah, I saw you post that.
The champion Kenny Omega versus G1 Climax winner Hiroshi Tanahashi. I do not watch MLW. I'm sorry, man. I've heard good things, but I do not keep up with that one, unfortunately. The press conference was really good. Like, they really are hyping up, like, the difference in ideologies between Tanahashi and Kenny. And Kenny is savage as fuck in this interview. If you've not yet check this out, go find it on the New Japan English YouTube channel. It's the only way you're going to be able to get it and watch it. Watch BC. Is that BCW, the Border City Wrestling in Canada? I've seen it before. I don't keep up with it much now. Unfortunately, I pretty much have time for WWE, New Japan, and try and do ROH when I can, when I remember it. So, unfortunately, but There's only 24 hours in a day, and there's
Yeah.
not enough wrestling, and then I also have my gaming and my comic content that I have to keep up with, and my DCCW stuff, which is back, so my plate is getting larger.
I'm essentially filthy casual at this point, so unfortunately. There was a day. Join the Honor Club.
Join the Honor Club. I'm thinking about it. It's a matter of money at this point among the other... the $30 in wrestling streaming I already spend a month in the...
Yeah, I do too.
But I'm thinking about it. It's...
Yeah, I'm going to have to say the no, unfortunately.
Yeah.
$60 for the kids' taekwondos. So...
yeah, we have our version of Heath Slater here.
Yes, indeed.
So that's just kind of my thoughts on all of that. Let's start up the SmackDown portion. You know,
no, I don't think we did.
If we did, it must not have been super
It
important.
must not have.
We're live now. We're live now.
We're doing this live.
Do it live. Fuck it.
And I hope whoever's watching is just kind of reading the comments because we're not really even reading them. We're responding.
Yeah, we're responding. So, if you're watching this after the fact, that is. The format's been thrown out the window because we actually have people watching us today. So there you go.
All interacting. And
we're live. Do it live. Fuck it. On SmackDown. First things first with SmackDown. I thought I know a lot of people have complained about
SmackDown usually is.
Yeah, SmackDown usually is greater than Raw. In weeks past, I've said this quite a bit. I've said Raw is like doing homework, and SmackDown is like the part of like this that I still enjoy. Granted, there is like most of my favorite wrestlers on SmackDown right now. Most of them. But I feel like it's better written. I feel like the storylines are better. That isn't to say it's immune from stupid shit, but I prefer SmackDown head and shoulders before Raw. Raw feels like doing homework. Raw feels like, well, I need to comment on these things. I have a YouTube show. SmackDown is like still watching as a fan and having a good time. So, except this week, Raw was very good. So I'm not gonna bash it.
I don't know. I mean, if they use Nakamura, maybe he could go to Raw. Balor could go to SmackDown. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Balor
please.
Well. He better really at this point, but
please.
I don't know about. I mean. Nakamura's not being used on SmackDown.
You know what I would love, and it will not happen, but I'd like for Balor to go to SmackDown. And then, you have Gallows, you have Anderson, AJ, Balor, and you think, like, yay, we're reunited, too sweet. And then, boom, down goes AJ, and then we see the real rock and roller in the WWE. Will that happen? I would not bet a penny on that happening if you value your penny. But that would be something that'd be like so awesome. Nakamura to Raw, I'm not sure how I feel about that because he would... Yeah, they would not appreciate him on Raw.
He could feud with Seth Rollins. I don't see it going any further than that.
It was a couple weeks ago.
I guess they could feed him to Roman because that's...
Excuse me. We said this a couple weeks ago here on the show. Raw is not a wrestling show for wrestling fans. And Shinsuke Nakamura, despite him...
AJ's title run, saving the WWE, essentially.
Yes.
I agree. I'm a giant Samoa Joe fan.
Yes.
I made Joe mark.
But Shinsuke Nakamura, despite his improvement with how they've been using him since WrestleMania... is not a wrestler that non-wrestling fans would appreciate. He needs to be on SmackDown where there's more of a target audience for wrestling fans. I know there are people that I work with that just watch Raw because it appeals to them. They like to see Rousey. They want to see Braun Strowman do some kind of feat of strength. They want to see... And then SmackDown, they're like, who the fuck cares?
Casual.
Yeah. If they saw Shinsuke Nakamura on Raw, they would go, and it's not right, and I don't agree that they go, who is this Japanese guy, and why the fuck is he here? And I don't like him. and I don't appreciate him. Whereas on SmackDown, people would appreciate him.
Mm-hmm.
You can say that's because it's a B show. You can say it's because he's not, this, that, and the other, and whatever. That's your bag. But that's why I disagree with Shinsuke on Raw. Now, some people might feel he needs a fresh coat of paint, and you have every right to feel that way. I mean, but I feel with this character change, we might see some...
Well, if they just put him on TV and give him something to do,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a great character.
Mm-hmm. The thing with AJ and Brian and Loading, we're talking SmackDown. We'll get right to it.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to talk about something else. We'll just get to this now because
Yeah, why not?
we listen to our fans here.
That's
We,
right.
all the since we got 4, so
We're really just distracted and ADD.
yeah, we're distracted in ADD now. All 4 of them, but those 4 mean the fucking world to
Yes.
us right now. I think that Miz is going to fuck that shit up. I think we've been saying that for a while.
That's what I said. That was, I think, what I predicted was Brian was going to win. Although I didn't know it was going to be in like 3 minutes, but and then Miz was going to mess things up between the two of them.
Or he'll either mess things up or he
happening at Crown Jewel, right?
Yes.
So, okay.
He did kind of mention he's coming after the winner, which maybe leads me to think that okay, AJ will retain, Miz will get it, and then you could possibly build to a Bryan WrestleMania. Bryan Miz for the title at WrestleMania, which would be awesome as hell. Then Balor versus AJ after Bryan feud. Oh God, I'd love that so much.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Don't stop making me dream of things that aren't going to happen.
Just go back and watch that TLC match from last year.
Mm-hmm. It was one of my top 10 favorite matches of last year.
Yeah. Heck yeah. And that was after AJ had done a 13 hours straight from South America or whatever. Right. We need you!
That whole pay-per-view last year was just kind of like,
Oh, that pay-per-view was kind of hilarious.
It was gradually getting better news. And it's like, I don't wish injury on anybody, so before you don't think I was happy anything happened to these individuals, but kind of hey, Roman Reigns hurt or sick or whatever it was, and he's not going to be able to wrestle, but they're going to replace him with Kurt Angle. Oh, really? Cool.
You remember...
Kurt Angle's come back, and then and Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt ain't going to be able to wrestle either, so they're going to replace Mike AJ. I'm oh.
Yeah. It's compare that when they're some people are out, let's make last-minute replacements. And you're like, wow. Now compare that to Great American Bash, I believe either 2005 or 2006. Where the elevated enzyme struck.
Oh, God.
The Great Khali was pulled out of his own Punjabi prison match, and Big Show was thrown in.
It just made no sense as to why that would happen.
Couldn't compete, so I forget who.
We had just Finlay versus Regal, which
that
should have been good, but people I was thinking but I wanted Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, the crowd was disappointment, but it was one of those diamond in the rough. If you actually enjoy that. I mean,
the crowd wasn't into it. The crowd took even going back
did.
and watching it in retrospect. But
see, I try to tune them out whenever I can.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I mean maybe that part is gonna happen. That'd be a good thing. But some segment that I thought that a lot of people on the internet's been kind of poo-pooing on, but I actually really enjoyed it, was the more of the explosion of Rusev Day.
Mm-hmm.
And they show the full clip of what happened that one night in Milwaukee,
mm-hmm.
and then if you've been hacked, how when your
right
password is I love it. I thought it was really fucking hilarious. Especially his password, and then he's just so much like the bitter friend,
mm-hmm.
who's we have to be buddies, but if you just dump your wife and be my friend again,
Yep.
I thought that Aiden English did a tremendous job in this segment.
The story's really well written. I kind of hope there's a good payoff
mm-hmm.
for it. I don't really want Rusev to just kill him in 2 minutes and that be
Right.
the whole end of the thing, because that seems...
Aiden played it so he played like such a sleazebag
Yeah.
and did
Oh,
it
yeah.
so well.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I love nothing more for like throughout the course of this, like him to like win the first match by some kind of dirty means, and then like you could get a lot of life out of this feud. Honestly, maybe not till WrestleMania life.
No, probably not that, but maybe till
maybe the Rumble.
TLC,
Maybe the Rumble.
and then at the Rumble, like they could have an altercation in the Rumble,
Right?
You know, because I mean, Rusev could take 2 steps for him, and you know, English just freaks out and leaps over,
Right.
kind of thing.
But they, you know, and then you know, he goes from me like, you know, I just want to be your buddy again, you know, and we have Rusev Day, and then when they call him out on it and say pretty much fuck you, he's like, you know, when it's exposed that he like, you know, tried to make a move on Lana,
right?
You know, pretty much goes back to like, well, it's still, offer's still available on. It's just like, what a fucking piece of shit.
Right.
I mean, some people don't like it, but you know, I'm gonna go against the grain. Big ups to everybody in that segment. It was great.
At the same time, like, you know, I mean, props in the courage department for even saying that with Rusev standing there, right there. It's like,
but yeah, I really
don't poke the bear.
Really enjoyed that.
I know. Yes, I know. All they give Rusev is comedy, but at least this is an interesting story right now. I mean, could you see him going into a feud with Nakamura for the U.S. title after
this? Yeah,
I could.
I could see that going to WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
He's got enough good momentum right now, and I mean, like now they finally turned him into a hero.
Mm-hmm.
We already saw this year, like you know how big Rusev Day was. I could see him very much taking this into WrestleMania, and having a good feud going into WrestleMania against the top maybe not a top villain, but a upper tier villain.
I mean,
like
if
a Nakamura.
he's still with Lana, they could even have Nakamura do something messing with Lana or whatever and turn it into a real blood feud, you know? I mean, like, more than just, he
could remember who he was, you know, like, I used to be, you know...
Right.
The Bulgarian Brute, and I'm going to bring it back out because you did such and such.
Exactly.
So, I think, knock on wood, and I don't want to knock over these figures, but knock on wood, this could turn into something really, really good, and it could also do good things for a villainous Aiden English, you know, after all this is done. So, you know, there's a lot that could come of this. One thing I just want to quick mention, like, just because it happened, it was a decent match, but Big Show came back, you know, wrestled Randy Orton to qualify for that big World Cup in Saudi Arabia, and Nakamura Ray is coming, so that'll be good.
Yes.
But
also Shelton Benjamin wrestled AJ Styles.
Shelton Benjamin wrestled AJ Styles, really great. The thing we've learned in doing this for about 6 months is when a match is really good, there's really not a whole lot to talk about other than, man, that match was good, you need to watch it.
Right.
This is an amazing match. You guys need to go check it out. Like, you can't really talk about the match other than without ruining the whole, hey, go watch the match. But to me, the main roster feud of the year, I guess I should say, because on NXT it's Ciampa and Gargano.
Oh, well, of course it is.
So if you include NXT, that's got to be number one. But on the main roster, the feud of the year, Charlotte and Becky, they had keeping their tremendous program going.
They haven't had like a bad segment yet that I
no,
think of.
Everything has been top notch. The match has been great. Even this one that went to a nothing still ended up with like a really fucking awesome moment. So, no question in my mind, if we're talking just main roster WWE, this has been the feud of the year, and it may be in my top 3, or possibly 2, in the whole wrestling world. We're getting back, you know, Becky is finally being used to the potential that Becky should have always been being used with. So.
Yeah, after being like invisible for a year. Yeah. So
I see champion. Oh yeah, that cheers up. My bad.
I drew your attention down there if there was more you had. But let's see what else.
Oh, we got more.
Else I skipped.
What's going on over here?
Oh, well, I expected it.
I didn't. I actually didn't. And this is like a complete 180 from when we first met. I did not mind Triple H going over. Or going over, I guess I should say winning, because we don't say going over on this show.
Yeah, we respond.
Oops.
Yep.
Oops.
Hey.
But
anyway.
The match itself, it's Michael Jordan with the Wizards, and I said that about Undertaker and his Roman Reigns match. It's like seeing Jordan with the Wizards. It's not what I want to see.
Yeah, I mean, I was a giant Taker fan for a long, long, long time, and when he retired in that Roman Reigns thing, I was like, yeah, this is the right decision.
205 Live, very kind of not the most.
It's one of those things where I very much feel guilty that I don't watch this show on a weekly basis.
I enjoy it when I watch it, but among the everything else we watch, it's just not where. It's one of the things that unfortunately gets cut in our life. Now, if I keep getting a lot of people wanting us to talk about it, I can make some time. I will definitely make more time for it. But in addition to wrestling, on this channel, I do gaming videos, which you can check those out. I do on my Facebook blog, go facebook.com/athleticgeek89. Not trying to be a shield, but for real. I do movie reviews for when there's a movie in the theaters. It's just started back up now, but I do the DCCW reviews of every episode. I do my comic book little video about the comic books every week, so I have time for that. In addition to a full-time job, sometimes 16-hour shifts. So there's not. I kind of have to pick and choose what wrestling I watch. And unfortunately, 205 Live is right there on the chopping block. I'd watch ROH more if it was. If I kept remembering that it was on my frickin' app, but I get home and I just flip it on Hulu, which is what got all my stuff on. So.
I thought it was 205 and under.
Didn't qualify for her.
Wouldn't you not?
Yeah, it's 205 and under, so you're good.
Yeah,
you're under.
I don't think there's.
I will say this.
I don't think there's you're 90 pounds now, get out.
On the subject of 205 Live, though, I will say this. I really enjoyed the... Damn, sorry.
I push 215 most times.
I enjoyed Cedric Alexander and...
Oh, yeah, Buddy Murphy.
Buddy Murphy, names. I thought they had a great match. I'm not going to say match of the night from Super Showdown. I believe that nod goes to Joe and AJ, but I'd say maybe a strong number 2. Told a great story. When Murphy did that kick out, and the place just So that was really good, and it's made me wish that I was keeping up with it a little bit more.
Can you imagine Cedric Alexander hadn't been defeated in 2018 up till then?
Yeah,
not pinned once. It's like. Wow!
Arguably the MVP of the Cruiserweight Classic. But yeah, it's just the big problem with this is there's only 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
And then that's in addition.
By work and kids.
Work and kids, I have I have work and I have this and I have other responsibilities outside of this,
Yeah, it ain't like back during the days. 18
if
to
only
21.
If only we would have done this whenever we were 18, we'd be doing everything.
Goodness.
We'd be making the YouTube money right
Pretty
now.
much.
But
keep up with the promotion.
If I'll try and kind of keep a better eye on it. That and Ring of Honor, and unfortunately, I can't follow a lot of other indies because a lot of them I just can't. I'm not the guy that I was that would, go buy, $250 worth of DVDs, every other month of independent wrestling DVDs like we used to. Because that used to be our life. It'd be like, they'd have some big, 40% off sale on
Yeah, we'd all
whatever
buy
on
it.
high spots or Ring of Honor, and just like I want that, and I want that, and I want that, and I want that, and I want that.
Of course, there's too many promotions to watch them all, but
Yeah.
we've been asked about at least 3 tonight.
Three, and we're going like, we don't know what we're doing. I just can't afford all of them right now because it's just I can't afford. I mean, like there's other friends that I make. They're like, "Are you watching this guy?" I'm like, "No, I'm not. I wish I was." You know, like full disclosure, I have not seen a whole hell of a lot of you know Walter's work, and I've heard Walter's like one of the best guys on the
Indies.
Indies.
I've heard too. I mean, most of the people who have the time to see all these, it's actually their job to do that.
Yeah, they get paid money. It's how they feed their families.
So,
I
mean,
but even like Matt Riddle. I mean, I've seen enough of Matt Riddle to know that I enjoy him. But have I probably seen all the Matt Riddle matches that people think are great? Absolutely not.
I just want to know if they're going to make him wear boots or not.
He has not been in the pictures from the house shows. So.
All right, well then probably not.
Now, that being said, he might have an Amasis from Chikara or Rusev realization one day if he ever gets hurt. It's like, boots are nice.
Yeah, right.
But it works really well with his character. But I enjoy Matt Riddle. I've seen enough of him to where I can say, like, I like him. But, I probably haven't seen the definitive Matt Riddle.
Right.
Right. Wow, that was like the big ADD tangent of the evening here.
Really, we're just responding.
I'm loving it. This is why I created this channel right here. This is the biggest embodiment of why I started both the Facebook and the channel.
Heck
so
yeah, otherwise
this
it's
is
just like hello phone.
Now we've had some good feedback like for afterwards, but this is a lot more enjoyable. It'd be even more enjoyable if we felt like 100%.
It's true.
But
que sera, sera.
Yeah.
C'est la vie.
C'est la vie. Well, we kind of went into
English words.
Kind of went into New Japan a little bit. I'll cover that real quick. My thoughts of talked about the press conference. I really enjoyed the main event from this past Monday. Where it was
hold belt up to camera.
Hold belt up to camera. Talk about that. It's on the wall. I can't. It's pinned to the wall, or else I would. And then I have here. I'll tilt it. Then I have that one up there. That one's signed by Ray, Nash, and Booker T. One of these days I'm going to post a video just
you could hold the camera up to the belt.
Yeah, here I'll hold the camera up to the belt. There you go.
Whoa, problem solving.
There you go. It was a backyard wrestling belt. We used to backyard wrestle.
Yes, we did.
On
a budget.
On a very big budget, or a very, very little budget, I should say. So back to New Japan. Really enjoyed that main event, and I also thought it really worked out well with this like conflicting ideas of what New Japan should be between Tana and Kenny. I'm really looking forward to the main event at Wrestle Kingdom because I think if Kenny loses, I think he's leaving. I think he's WWE bound. I buy these Madison Square Garden tickets, and they're gonna put who I want to fucking see over there at TakeOver. Just my luck.
You'll be sitting there watching it, I'll just be texting you. So, this guy's doing this.
I will block your ass. I will block it. I would I don't want to, because I really want to go see a show in the Garden, and that's kind of like what put it over the top for me to definitely get that. But like, I would be so tempted to go like, I'll sell this and get a TakeOver ticket. But I say that, but I still think like most people I know are going to MSG, and I want to hang out with them. So I'd probably be. They'd still have Okada. They'll still have Okada there. They'll still have Naito there. They might bring in some big guns from Japan to kind of counteract that. So, in that sense, I feel like they're smart enough that if the Elite defect before MSG, that they'll be able to bring in some heavy hitters.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe pull a big rabbit out of the hat and go, we got Jericho, Jericho caught, I'm speculating here, but I'd like to think they'd really bring something to be like, okay, it ain't fuck us, it's fuck you,
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So. Yeah. Honestly, if they're gonna leave, just leave after MSG, please. If wait till after MSG, goodbye and good night me one time.
Well, I mean,
one time group to be together. I could also, I'm of two minds about that. One, I feel like they could be trolling because it's just kind of like, they know who their audience is.
Mm-hmm.
They know what they're like, yes, Meltzer's reporting on stuff, and I don't think Meltzer would ever agree to, pull one over on the fans.
Oh, yeah, no.
But
that's not his style.
That's not his, but I could also see them getting together going like, we know who watches us, we know who they listen to, we know what they read, we know what they like to do.
He's been misinformed before.
Yeah, I'm not saying like just Meltzer, but like, we're gonna throw shit out there.
Oh, yeah, right.
And we're gonna make them get all up in a fucking tailspin.
Chris Jericho?
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna get them into a fucking tail, but I could also see them being, this is gonna be really convoluted, it's gonna be like one of those, like, the SpongeBob, with the secret and secretly and all this. It's how it's gonna sound, but, by them being so blatantly obvious trolls, they could also think like, okay, this is going to put their guard down enough to where they're like, you know what, they're with us. Hey guys, we signed a contract with the WWE, we're going to NXT, we're going to this, that, and the other, or nothing, and then Royal Rumble comes around, here's Kenny Omega,
Right.
So I could see them also being even further ahead of the curve to know, like, they're going to be thinking this, and like, because that's how brilliant of minds they are in this day and age.
Right. They know their audience.
They know their audience, they know us too well, they know that they can, I mean, like, even, yeah, they could just be fucking with us to get us to do it, they could be getting us to lower our guards, so I'd be like, yep, should have watched Royal Rumble, y'all. Now, whether I can't speak for them. I mean, I can't get mad at anybody if they're going to pay you a bunch of money. Go take the money. You only have so many good years in the wrestling business to make money. On the flip side, I also know that most of the individuals in the elite, Cody who wanted more freedom, Kenny who wants to change the world. You never know.
Yeah, it's true.
You never know with anything. The Bucks who are doing this. Money talks, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You never know, who want this creative freedom. I mean, but if they take all their Saudi money and they take their Fox deal and go, we're going to guarantee you $2.5 million a year, and when you're on, and we're going to put you in NXT, and Triple H go, I'll give you some creative freedom as long as you're in NXT, and I'll keep you here for a year or two. Mm-hmm. And I was talking with a friend that I met at StarCast. I said they're wanting to put NXT on TV. Who better to lead that brand than the Elite, than Kenny and the Bucks? So there's about 8 million things. It's like almost the anticipation of not knowing what they're doing is worse than anything else that could be going on right now, because I just want to know. I want to know if come April, when I'm sitting in MSG, am I gonna, be seeing my good friends, the Elite? Am I gonna be saying goodbye? Is it gonna be just another day until I see him again, or is Nick gonna be laughing his ass off at what a great takeover show he's getting and seeing the Elite over there? That's what I want to know, and I guess that's just the fun of being a wrestling fan.
The Bucks don't have anything else left really to do in the Indies.
If they want to make it a surprise, I would definitely let them do. Honestly, and this isn't just me saying this because I have tickets, I actually think it would be a smart idea. you know, just say like, hey, you guys want to go, stick with us until the Garden. Get us to the Garden and say goodbye there at the biggest thing ever. And if WWE wants them bad enough, I'm sure they'll play a little ball with that.
Would they let them debut at WrestleMania?
Well, the Hardy Boys came back.
Yeah, but the Hardy Boys came back. Like, you gotta understand how much they appeal to the casual viewer at WrestleMania, you know. Like,
Maybe the Raw after WrestleMania.
That would be more likely to me.
No,
because, I mean...
No, don't get me...
AJ Styles did debut at the Royal Rumble, so there is a precedent for the other.
But again, like, going in my head, you know, of things I want to see that would never happen, but boy, wouldn't they be epic. You know, you have the rumor and innuendo, as Conrad Thompson would say, was, excuse me...
And you can quote that.
Coughing, yeah. Coughing, Athletic Geek. I want it. I want that. That's on a t-shirt, damn it. Print, I don't give a shit. The rumor and innuendos, damn it. Usually I don't feel this bad.
Rumor and
innuendo. It's all about like a Shield 3-way. You know, the Shield 3-way to main event WrestleMania. Going, what if at the end of that, you know, when they build up to it with jealousy, and is Dean going to turn? Excuse me. Or is this guy going to turn? Or that? And they're finally like, you know, we've exercised our demons, we've main evented, you know, and yes, Roman's going to win or whatever, but I am my brother, and they do the... You know, they do the fist bump, and then just add the, you know, and then just like, what's going on, you know, people in masks, and, you know, all of a sudden, super kick, you know, one-winged angel on Roman, and then, you know, take the masks off, you know, the Elite's in the ring, you know, like, that would be the greatest moment ever. Will it happen? Absolutely not, because it makes Roman Reigns look weak. It makes an outside property look more superior. Triple H would let it happen. Vince McMahon would not. But, you know... I don't know, like, just, as much as I don't want them to leave, it's like, if I knew when they would leave, they get shit like that, I'm all for it. You know?
Right. Yeah, that's the thing, too. You've seen so many that have come there, and then it's like...
Like, it's just AJ has been successful, you know. I've talked about this, you know, offline with several friends. You know, Finn Balor being used like shit.
Joe's had bad luck with the injuries.
Joe has had bad luck. You know, what we got over here? Maybe. Yeah, kind of. But we didn't talk about that segment. That was awesome.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. Thank you.
We can backtrack right into
it. Yeah, that was an awesome segment.
All the way to Raw.
Hilarious.
That was. Baron Corbin trying to qualify for the best in the world tournament.
I want to say one of those guys, and I might be mistaken, was former IWA Mid-South champion, Egotistico Fantastico. Might be wrong. Again, it's been a while since I really hardcore followed the indies, but yeah. But New Japan, yeah, there you go. That's just kind of my. If they are going to leave, I'd like to think they'll go. Our contracts are up. We'll get you to the Garden, you know. And then their final night could be in Madison Square Garden, the biggest Ring of Honor show ever. Something big happening, and then hey, this is our last show with you guys, but one final time, goodbye and good night, bang. That would be a good ending. But you don't always get things like that, Their contracts expire in January. They could, AJ Styles' last show in New Japan was the day after Wrestle Kingdom. He wrestles Shinsuke. They have a tag match the next night, New Year's Dash, and then he just gets kicked out, and AJ's gone. So not everybody rides into the sunset. Timing doesn't really work. That's just, if it's going to happen, that's how I would like it to happen. Not even, with how they would be used in WWE is irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're going to get the Brinks truck backed up to their house and they're going to go,
Right.
I'd at least like them, because they're part of the movement that got little old Ring of Honor and, you know, foreign New Japan in the Garden.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to think that they would, I know they'd want to, but they would be able to at least see that journey out. And
Right. There's another. I mean, I would imagine a lot of the wrestlers.
Clearly, I'm sure they're very aware of all in.
I imagine a lot of the wrestlers watched it, and a lot of the agents too. I bet Vince didn't. He didn't even know it existed.
No, Vince didn't know it because he
Well, he talked to Jericho. He didn't know before he talked to Jericho that it existed.
Like, I wish they would have called me. I would have helped them out. And it's like, what?
I'm sure Triple H watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, a lot of the wrestlers and agents that are former wrestlers, I'm sure, So.
Well, a lot of them have, like,
Be
wives or...
prepared to see
A lot of them have wives or girlfriends or husbands that were competing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Chelsea Green, you know, was dating... Or is dating Zack Ryder, you know.
Plus the anomaly of a, show run by all active wrestlers, basically, you know, I mean.
Right.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
But we're gonna hear some Mae Young Classic thoughts real quick.
Yeah. Switch over here real quick.
She's in WWE now? I did not read that yet.
Who?
I guess Chelsea Green, since I mentioned her. I mean, did I mention anybody else?
No, that's what you mentioned. I didn't know.
We're not ignoring comments, but our source of seeing it closer is getting compromised temporarily for some thoughts on the Mae Young Classic. So if I'm going like this, that's what I'm doing. I'm not trying to be
look
weird.
at this screen. All right, so Mae Young Classic. We did the second part of the.
Awesome. It makes me really happy that I met Miss Green when I did. Oh, another one from the 4-way. Oh, well, we're having a real good... I'm not going to comment. If it is true, good for her. If not, then, hey, she'll still be on the Independents, and maybe I'll get the chance to see her again. So that's my word on the matter.
All right. So this week is the second part of the second round, basically, or whatever, the second half of it.
Pretty much, just in case you're not aware, like, I keep up with NXT. You know, we don't really talk about NXT in New Japan. He doesn't have New Japan World. He doesn't have the time for NXT.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm not able to watch the Mae Young Classic. So, he gets the ball and he scores a touchdown.
Things I squeeze into my schedule.
He gets the ball and he scores a touchdown every week with the Mae Young Classic report. So,
all right. So Zeuxis versus Io Shirai. No surprise to me, Io Shirai won. It was a pretty decent match.
Spoiler warnings on all this. Preemptive. I mean, I should have said that earlier, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, assuming you don't... Thankfully, I've avoided the spoilers since this was all pre-taped like 2 months ago.
Right.
But anyway, Io Shirai won. I felt like the match was good. I don't feel like they really gelled as well as I expected them to. It was fine, but it wasn't as much as I expected it to be, I guess, basically. Sometimes I set my bar too high. But it was good. It was physical. I mean,
I'm sorry.
Wife's worried about me. But it was pretty decent for an opener. I was surprised it was the opener, and then I saw it, and I was like, that makes sense. Diana Purrazzo.
Yeah, I'm good. It's not. We're both feeling under the weather today, but we are dedicated to this here show.
Make sure it doesn't think I'm dead or anything.
Yeah.
Purrazzo fought Xia Li. It became real evident real quick that Xia Li needed to stick to strikes and high impact quick moves and not trade holds with Purrazzo. And she tried.
Hashtag me too.
But
what?
But anyway, she tried. She failed. Purrazzo cut her to pieces.
I want to point this out because I am kind of following Purrazzo a little bit. I went to Ring of Honor in Nashville, Tennessee in January, and they had the autograph signing. You know, they had like the Elite, except for Kenny and Dalton Castle and SCU, they're signing autographs. And, there's big lines for all of them, and then I met Deanna, but, like, she had, like, maybe, like, the poor girl was just texting the whole time. Like, nobody come there, and I just think, like, one, shame on all of you for not wanting to meet her. I mean, whatever, you do what you want to do, but shame on all of you, because she's awesome. And two, who's laughing now, huh? Bet you wish you would have went and talked to her, because she's in the Mae Young Classic and in WWE now, so.
Right. But it was good. I mean, Peraza basically just tore her apart, more or less. I mean, you were like, come on, Zoe, you can do it. No, you can't. Okay. So I enjoyed that.
I honestly think she might be a finalist. I mean, like, I'm watching this, like, extremely casually, but I think she might be going to the finals.
I forget who she's fighting next. But anyway, Tegan Knox versus Nicole Matthews. Tegan Knox is a young Welsh girl that last year was supposed to be in it but tore her ACL. And Nicole Matthews has just been wrestling for like over 12 years. So I figured she was going to win this one. I was wrong. Tegan got the victory on this one. It was a pretty good match, back and forth.
Who will win the World Cup? We will give you predictions on that when we get more qualifiers. But before Crown Jewel, we'll do a predictions episode.
Yeah, we'll do one like that.
So
yeah.
Stay tuned. So like, share, subscribe, turn on notifications.
And then the fourth match was Mia Yim versus Caitlyn. I figured Caitlyn was going to win it, to be honest, with her former.
We're going to do it live. Thing. Well, if you guys prefer the live format over the tape format, we'll definitely do it live. Yeah. Prediction: we might do a tape predictions episode, and then we'll go live for the discussion. Don't know, because live's actually done real for us. Live's gone well for tonight, so we might have to change up the game plan, but
we can do a live prediction. Those are so.
We can do that. We'll see what happens. So just stay tuned.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Mia Yim versus Caitlyn. Caitlyn actually lost to Mia Yim. It was a pretty good match. Caitlyn is noticeably better than she was when she was in WWE the first time.
Right.
I mean, it was a good match, and it was also pretty physical, and they really went at it, and in the end, very surprisingly, Mia Yim won. She had an injured hand from the first match when she chopped the ring post, so at one point she was going after the hand that was wrapped and doing the whole finger thing, and joint manipulation and all that, and I honestly didn't think Mia Yim was going to win, and then she turned it around at the last minute. It was pretty good, so that wrapped up the second round, and I guess the next episode will probably be the entire quarterfinal, because it's only 4 matches, and there's 4 matches per episode.
And we'll be doing a predictions video for Evolution as well.
And that's for the quarterfinals, and then the week after that will be probably the 2 semifinal matches and a bunch of hype, and then we'll be ready for Evolution at that point, so.
But just stay tuned.
Yep, exactly, so. And that's about it for that episode. Yeah.
There you go. And hats off for his coverage here. Woo! Hats off. Woo!
Mexico win the World Cup.
Mexico, yeah, or the UK. Definitely not the United States. Our football is played with foots minimally, and I like to keep it that way. America. Just kidding. But I do like my football. Anyway, that is it. Thank you all for participating in this discussion. This was probably one of the best episodes we've had, if not the best. I would say so. Because we, really, really fun. It's Jedi Jason Kruger. He doesn't have social media.
Always a thumbs up for Trish Stratus.
Always a thumbs up for Trish Stratus, yes. Oh, well, hey, Trish and Lita coming back. That reminded me of something else. Trish and Lita coming back.
Evolution.
For Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. I'm okay with that. I would have liked to have seen just Trish and Alexa singles match, but hey, that's...
Yeah. They were originally both single, but somebody theorized that Alexa, she got pulled to mixed match challenge. She's nursing some sort of minor injury. They think this might be, so she doesn't have to be in the ring as long.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Either way, I'm okay with that. Trish Stratus coming back always gets a thumbs up from me. Trish is probably my favorite female wrestler.
Sign off there.
Yeah, yes. Right,
That's it. It's just that.
But Jedi Jason Curry doesn't have social media because he got kids.
That's right. I'm boring.
And he don't have time for that. We don't have time for 205 Live. You think he's got time for Twitter? I do have time for Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at athletic_geek89. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel and go watch other videos, not just from the world of pro wrestling, but as we said earlier, I got comic videos, the weekly comic shop adventure. I got gaming videos. I'm going to try and do some more anime videos. And go like the Facebook page, facebook.com/athleticgeek89. Got some exclusive content there. You can read my movie reviews. Every Thursday is my collection comic of the week. So go check that out. And also, now that it's the seasons have started again, you will have my weekly thoughts on the DC CW Universe episodes. So check those out. But for Jedi, I'm the Athletic Geek. We're just two marks. And we're out. See ya.